You got 3,380. Red team, you got 2,940. You guys ready for battle of words? Okay, red team and the blue team. I better choose the red team first.
It will be possible if we want to be clean the street vendor from Surabaya. As we know, there's many street vendors in Marlborough, Yogyakarta. It's the icon for Yogyakarta. Don't you ever think about it? If you want clean the street, if you want clean the street vendor, you using the icon of Yogyakarta.
And you think with destroy them, it will solve the problem? I'm sure not, because it just decreased the level of economy of people in Indonesia. And if you worry about the mess, don't worry about it, because that group usually has a leader that organizes them. So don't worry about the mess.
Okay, in the facts, we usually know that found them, and we know in the facts we really need them. How about you are the students, and how about we can earn money?
Oh.
We can earn money and we still need them to complete our necessity.
Okay.
And, you know, how could you say the government couldn't handle it well?
Okay. Now it's blue team.
Okay, the first major problems in the opposition team is first, in the previous segment, they are not trying to answer this title by only talking about poverty and also about the price itself, but not talking about the beautify of the street itself, of the image itself. And even if they talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, simply they are not. If they are trying to speak about the poverty itself, let's see the current condition now when it can be organized well, not in the street vendor, but in the traditional market itself, which can be organized well and also can keep the image itself, which is become clean. If they are compare it with about Malioboro itself, ladies and gentlemen, Malioboro is being organized and controlled and claimed as the traditional market itself. It's different with what we are going to speak now about the illegal street vendor, which is illegal and hasn't been organized well by the government.
Take a deep breath.
Second of all, about the problems that raised up by this kind of street vendor is our country, I mean, especially Surabaya, have a program that is green and clean. If we still allow this kind of street vendor sell their things illegally, ladies and gentlemen, so there will be this kind of program will be stuck. Because why? Because by seeing from these conditions right now, the street vendor also and always throw their rubbish, throw their waste anywhere, and they don't, and it is not organized well by our department.
Okay, now is that something that you disagree with the red team? Wait, any question?
If the opposition team speak a lot about the cheaper price from the street vendor itself, but as we know in the traditional market, the price of the product is cheaper too, and the quality in the market is still better than the street vendor.
Okay, red team.
Okay, didn't you know that who gonna be sell in traditional market should be by a stand first, call it stand. How about the money? You can give the solution, and sorry, I've been told you about the beautify of the street vendor.
Okay, now turn.
Okay, the problem is when they are talking about the money inside the traditional market itself. Let's see the traditional market in buying the stand itself doesn't need much money, but comparing with the condition that will be implied and also in further impact itself, ladies and gentlemen, that there will be any beautify of this image of the city itself. Yeah. So when we compare about the money, but compared with what will happen after this, so it is comparable enough, and it will satisfy the seller also. Because why? Because even in traditional market, the consumer itself still much, and also there are also many potential to increase their income itself.
With buy stand in a traditional market, it's easy. It needs money. Do one day get a problem with that? They must pay tax.
Okay, so you are not going to debate about the beautify of the country,
okay,
but you are going to debate about the money. When we know the condition that they're capable enough to pay.
If you think about beautiful city, it means you never buy in street vendor. How about in Kuta? It's illegal, man. Program green and clean, not only in Surabaya, but also in Indonesia, man. And you know, you just said about Surabaya, but it's in Indonesia. You have been made a mistake
even if
too.
it's another location, ladies and gentlemen. For example, in Kuta Bali, yes, indeed, there is a self-founder itself, state founder itself. But the problem is, even if in Bali, they also break the image
So
itself.
you agree with my point in Kuta Bali street founder?
The Kuta Bali itself, in Kuta Bali, even in Kuta Bali or Malioboro, they break the image.
They have a strong argument, my God. Now, we will be right back after the commercial break. Of course, stay tuned, Student Beat!